Hey, it's Ryan with S&B. I'm going to be showing you how to install our Nissan Frontier intake kits today. We have two different kits for this truck, but the install is almost identical, the only difference being the intake tube itself. The one kit's going to fit 2005 to 2019, and the other kit's going to be the 2020 and up, which we're actually going to be showing you today. Like I said, though, the install is almost identical. We're going to shoot the same video for both. Airbox, everything's the same. The only difference is just going to be a slight change on the intake tube, but how it all goes together won't change at all. So we'll start ripping out this stock kit now. First thing first, we're going to take off the 3 screws that hold the intake tube and airbox in. These are all going to be 10 millimeters. Next up, with a flathead or a 5/16 nut driver, we can go ahead and remove the hose clamp at the throttle body. Next, we can remove the CCV hose. Slide that back. We're going to go ahead and unplug the MAF sensor now. And the intake will be ready to pull out. So we're going to do this in one big piece here. It clips in on the bottom on the driver's side, and those grommets that you can see on the bottom. So once we have the airbox out of the vehicle, we need to transfer over the mass airflow sensor. So this will just be a Phillips screwdriver. I already got them loose. We're going to go over to the S&B intake tube here. We're going to grab our supplied foam gasket and what we call the MAF adapter here. The sensor installs into the hard molded adapter, and then the foam gasket slides underneath that. I didn't get it right because the holes didn't line up, so I'm going to spin this around. There you go. So all my holes are lined up. I'm going to use the 2 provided longer Phillips screws and install this into the intake tube. Next up, we're going to transfer over the grommets from the bottom of the factory airbox. And they just click right in. Next, we're going to move the compression limiter over. So this just, you pull the bushing out, and then the rubber grommet can be pressed out real quick. Press it in on this box, and then we will install the bushing from the top. And that's ready to go. We're going to go ahead and prepare the S&B box for install now. So the side scoop we've got installed, and then here's our front scoop. And it's easier to install this before the box is in the vehicle. So you can use your hand on the inside here to help work the lip in.
So for the guys that do have a fuse box here on the side, we already have our bracket installed. That's going to move this fuse box to the front, and it'll be underneath our front scoop. So to get this moved over, you simply just depress the button, pull off the box, and we can set this aside for now. Now we're going to remove this bracket. So you can see there's 2 10 mil bolts. We'll get both of these removed. This bracket will not be reused. And we'll get this fuse box snapped into the bracket. So it just slides over, just like how it slid over the OEM metal tab. Once you hear the click, it's locked into place, and we'll get the airbox fastened down.
We've got the front scoop installed, side scoop installed, grommets transferred over, compression limiter installed back here. So now this box is ready to install in the truck. And this is where, if you have that fuse box, it may be easier to install the fuse box first before the front scoop's on. So if your vehicle had the auto start stop, we'd recommend doing it that way, but this vehicle didn't, so we're going to get it clicked on here. Take our 10 millimeter screw here, drop it through, Next, we're going to install the filter. So we're just going to line up this line. There's a line molded into the top of the box right here as well. And the filter is going to snap into the box. And it's a snug fit, but that's just so the filter's secured firmly. Next, we're going to install our couplers onto our short intake tube. And then we've got 4 hose clamps. And slide these on. We're not going to tighten any of these down yet until we get everything installed. And the short tube is going to press on to the throttle body side here. Then we can get our longer tube. Take our longer tube here. Slide that up for a second. So that tube's installed. Now we can rotate this one down. Put the whole thing together. Just like that. Now I'm going to come back through with our nut driver and tighten down all of our hose clamps. Plug the MAF sensor in. Some vehicles, there's an additional locking tab right here, or like push rivet zip tie that goes onto this engine bracket. If the sensor won't reach with that installed, we just went ahead and disconnected it, and that gives us the clearance we need to let the sensor reach. We're going to extend the crankcase breather hose. So to do that, we're going to install this male-to-male barb and a hose clamp. Okay, and then we can press this onto this end. And install another hose clamp here. And slide it onto the intake tube. Like so. Then we can tighten this hose clamp down and move our pinch clamp over. We can now reinstall the pinch clamp. Now our CCV is hooked up again. And the last step will be to install the clear lid. So to do so, we're just going to peel the protective covering off. Install it into our lid seal. And then this can get clicked into the air box. So we've got the lid snapped in. That's all there is to this install. Super simple. If you have any questions during the install or just about the kit in general, give us a call anytime, 909-947-0015. Thank you for your time.